A lot of English conversations die for one simple reason. You're asking questions that kill them. Not because your English is bad, not because you're boring, no worries, but because you ask questions that give the conversation nowhere to go. And to be completely honest with you, it used to happen to me too. Hi guys, welcome back to Wannaspeak by Veronique. My name is Veronica. I am originally from Poland. Now I'm a full-time digital nomad, meaning I travel full-time. And let me tell you the truth. When I started traveling in my early 20s, partying, meeting a lot of new people from a lot of countries, I would freak out when I had to speak English. I would panic, translate everything in my head, overthink every question and answer, and the conversations I had used to die so fast. What changed everything for me was this. I stopped trying to sound impressive, to build perfect sentences, and I started focusing on keeping the door open, on being genuinely interested in the other person. So in today's video, guys, I'll show you 3 ways to do the same in your English conversations. We're gonna break down 3 conversation killers, and later we're gonna figure out the solutions. The first and super common conversation killer is asking a question that dies too fast. For example, did you like your trip? Yeah, that was nice. And now what? The conversation is literally going nowhere. Or do you like your job? Yeah, it's good. And now what's gonna happen? There is absolutely nothing to catch up on. The question is too easy, the answer is too short, the end of the conversation. Solution: ask open questions. Use what, how, and why. What, how, and why. Remember that. Instead of asking, did you like your trip? Ask, what was the best part of your trip to Rio de Janeiro, for example? Last month I was in Rio, and oh my god, the best part of my trip was hiking one of the highest peaks, having, this panoramic view of the beaches, the city, the favelas, which are the, neighborhoods in Rio. That was amazing. And when you hear this kind of answer, then you can ask a follow-up question. Oh, tell me about this hike. Was it difficult? Can you see that by changing this one question and starting with what, the conversation keeps going and it's completely different. Instead of asking, do you like your job, which is a yes/no question, ask, what do you enjoy about your job? And here I could tell you, I love to connect with people. I love to work with people face to face, one-on-one. I love to ask them questions and be genuinely interested in helping them, in listening to their life stories. So in this situation, if you don't know me, you can ask me, oh, what do you do exactly? To sum up, we don't ask the simple, the easy question. We ask the question that opens doors. The second really common conversation killer, you freeze because you don't know what to say next. And we've all been there, right? We met someone, a stranger or a coworker, or this weird situation in the elevator, and you are like, hey, how's your day going? Nice weather, right? That's really uncomfortable, and the vibe gets super weird because let's be honest, guys, not everyone here is an extrovert, right? I'm more of an introvert, and I really hate these situations like in the elevator or in a line when somebody asks you something and you are like, oh, I don't feel like talking. Sometimes we can have a bad day, but still, we live in a society and sometimes it's actually good to talk to people. And in these situations, especially when we have to speak English, right, a foreign language, we usually panic, overthink, and say nothing at the end. The solution here is very simple. Use the echo technique. Your job is to take one word from what they said and repeat it back with genuine interest. Because when we are genuinely interested in the other person, the vibe just relaxes. You relax, the other person relaxes, and the conversation keeps going and it feels natural, not forced. For example, let's take this situation in the elevator, right? You enter the elevator, there is your coworker there, and you go with the standard question, hey, how's it going? The coworker answers, great, I just came back from Italy. And this moment is crucial. This moment is where you use the echo technique. Italy, how was it? You see, I repeated one word of what she said, and I added genuine interest. How was it? I really want to know. Tell me about it. Or the same coworker tells you, I'm thinking of changing a job, And you are like, changing a job? Why? What happened? The echo technique buys you time, relaxes the vibe, and keep the conversation going in a natural, easy way. And honestly, this is exactly what I'm working on with my clients in my private 90-day coaching. I don't just help you learn English, I help you use it in a way that feels natural to you. If you feel stuck in English and if you feel that your English doesn't sound like the real you, the link is in the description. And the third really common conversation killer is you miss the best part of what they said. And this is the one a lot of people don't notice. So someone tells you something interesting about their lives and you just let it go. For example, someone tells you, I moved here last year, and you are like, that's nice. This usually kills the momentum and the conversation ends. And now, don't get me wrong, stay authentic to yourself. If you really don't want to talk to that person, you don't have to ask any follow-up question and you don't have to show interest. And if you want to know me personally, I'm naturally a person who asks a lot of questions because I'm a coach. I coach non-native English speakers in English confidence, and I also coach women in the relationship trauma/emotional health area. I'm usually really genuinely interested in the other person, but I understand not everyone is like that, or sometimes you don't really like your coworker, right? And you don't want to be fake. So if the case is that you want to move on with this conversation, but you don't know how, the solution is to follow the thread. To give you a tangible example, imagine that you are in a conversation with me, okay? That's gonna be the easiest way to show it. And you ask me, what's it like to be a digital nomad? Don't you get tired? And here I'm gonna tell you some details, right? I'm not gonna dive into every detail of being a digital nomad. Actually, I love being a digital nomad. I think I wasn't made to live in one place and go to 9 to 5. I know that a lot of people love this lifestyle, but it's simply not for me. So I decided to travel the world and own just one suitcase and one backpack. So from 2023, I've been, all over the place with my partner. And recently I became a legal resident here in Paraguay. And to answer the second part of your question, if I get tired, I simply stay in one place for 3 months if the visa situation allows me to do so. What did I do here? I basically gave you a lot of threads to follow up on. Let's say that the part that interests you the most is life in Paraguay. So you can ask a follow-up question. Okay, why Paraguay? Why you chose Paraguay? Or if you are interested in the visa situation in Thailand, for example. Thailand is the country that really stole my heart, and in a couple of months, I'm gonna be actually coming back to Thailand. I'm so happy about that. It's as simple as that. You don't need a new topic. You just need what you already have and genuine interest. Now I have good news and bad news. Which one do you want first? Maybe let's go with the good news first. If you understand this video, if you understand what I'm saying, it means that your brain library is full of phrases, is full of grammar. You know English. Most probably you watch a lot, you listen a lot. And now let's go to the bad news. Most probably your speaking and how you express yourself is where you get stuck. So can you see, it's not your grammar because you know the grammar, you know the words. The real problem here is sounding natural, expressing yourself freely and confidently, staying present in conversations without, spiraling, overthinking and panicking. This is what I work on with my clients in my 90-day coaching. This is where we work really intensively in one-on-one sessions, and twice a week you grab your cell phone and you send me voice notes on WhatsApp. So you get personalized feedback twice a week. I will leave the link in the description down below if you want to work with me closely on that. Okay, it's time to wrap this video up. Thank you guys so much for watching Wannaspeak by Veronique. Let me know in the comments what makes you uncomfortable in real life conversations. Also, feel free to share your thoughts, opinions, reflections. You guys know that I love to chat with you in the comments. See you next week in my next video, and you got this. Take care.